So, how do you get yourself an accountant? We found that three things stop people getting in touch with an accountant in the first place. So, one, they're scared that when they ring up, they're going to speak to an accountant who speaks another language, talking about technical terms, and people being unsure whether they need that service or not. Two, they're not sure what an accountant does. They're not sure whether they need one or not, and whether they're going to be wasting the accountant's time. And three, budget. No one really knows what an accountant charges, and honestly, the range is massive. So I can't give you a rough price. So it's all about getting in touch really, and I'll talk you through the process on how we do get to a price. So the quickest and easiest way is to just book a call for 30 minutes in the link below, getting that little bit of courage to just book yourself in, and I promise you there's no worries on about wasting people's time or not sure whether you need an accountant, and you can ask questions, you can go for it. But what you'll be is you will be speaking to an accountant, and the idea is that for the first 15 minutes we'll be going through your circumstances. So what your business structure is, whether you're working for yourself, whether you have got a limited company, whether you've got staff, finding out what size you are, what sort of demands you're going to need from an accountant. And then what I'll be doing is I'll be taking notes and working out what whether our list of services, which is quite long, whether they apply to you really. So any ones that don't, I will leave out and I won't bore you with the details. But any that I find that may be a benefit to yourselves, I can talk you through it, the benefits, what to expect if you do want that service, and how we work. So then we'll go down the list for the next 15 minutes of me going through the services that I've handpicked out that you might need. And we'll say yes or no. We'll also put in some variables, so it could be like, say, payroll. It could be how many staff have you got. So obviously the more staff there are, the higher the price is going to be. And then what it'll be is like the pay frequency as well will affect the price. So it could be if they're paid weekly, it will cost more than if they're paid monthly, because we're obviously doing 4 times the amount of payroll runs. Then what we'll do is we'll go down to the bottom of the list and we'll click to generate the price. And it will give us a number there and then, a fixed monthly price. We don't do surprises, so you'll know every month what you'll be paying and what services you'll be getting. What it will do is as well, it will detail everything. So we'll like give you a checklist of all the services we've selected, and then we'll gauge how you've reacted to that price. So it could be, that's well over my budget. There's no way I can afford that, or I was paying this before, and hopefully it's a bit cheaper than what you was paying before. But I will make that promise, we're not cheap. What I can promise you is if you are after a cheap accountant, we do have some great recommendations, and it all depends on what you're after really. So we like to be integrated. We play with the idea that we make you compliant. That's the basics of an accountant, is to make sure HMRC, you've done anything to satisfy their requirements and you don't get any fines or penalties, or taken to court, those sort of things. But then what we want to do is we want to be integrated within your company. So we want to give our time, we want to offer value, we want to make sure your business is providing you with that lifestyle that you want. So obviously we're not just doing the bit where a lot of accountants are a bit standoff, where they just want to do the compliance and then they're away, meet you once a year. We don't. We really want to be involved in your business. We want to understand what you do. We want to understand yourselves, how you want to work. We communicate in different ways. We can do a monthly meeting, a quarterly meeting. We've got WhatsApp. A lot of people prefer that these days. They don't really want to talk, and I completely understand that. So what it'll do is we can adjust that price. So if you've worked out those services, oh wow, that's a lot more than I thought, we can then reduce the services, and get you to a price that you're happy with. But just to state, there'll be no pressure to sign there and then. It's all about, what we'll do is we'll get somewhere where you're okay, and then we'll fire that over to you, and it'll instantly send you an email with a quote, the contract details, and then it's up to you whether you want to sign that or not. So there's usually an expiry of about 48 hours to accept the quote or not, but there'll be no chasing. And if it doesn't work for you, and you're going around other accountants, that's completely fine. Hopefully from the 30 minutes you've learned a bit about our industry and what we do, and then it's up to you, and the ball is in your court completely. So please book that 30-minute call below. Honestly, You won't be wasting anyone's time. Just if you want to find out stuff, you want to ask questions, please feel free. Go for it.